we are going to launch into our marvelous MENA track in association with the lovely folk at Play 3 Araby. And I believe there's a video from our sponsors which we shall launch into to begin with. Roll VT, as they say. Cool, that looks awesome. We'll hear a little bit more from our sponsors, Play 3 Araby, shortly. But before then, to kick off the track, we have a fireside chat with the people who make PGC Jordan possible, and have done so much really to help the games industry in Jordan and the region as a whole, and to help those Middle Eastern numbers we saw earlier tick along. So to join me in a fireside chat, I'd like to welcome to the stage Amjad Alloush of the King Abdullah Development Fund. While he comes along, I forgot into the stage. I forgot to mention the hashtag, and I wrote it down, and now I forgot what it is again. I think it's PG hashtag PG Connects. I'm probably got it wrong, but if you want to, I will make PGC Digital. Thank you, Charlie, saved me. So hashtag PGC Digital. If you want to share your views on social media, want to share something you've seen, just share how incredible my shirts are, or just generally shout to the world. I understand Twitter's quite popular these days. So yes, so Amjad, are you there? Hello, we need to unmute Amjad.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Hello, how are you, sir?
How are you? Thank you very much.
How are you doing this morning? So what's the weather like in Jordan, first of all? So in Amman, what are you in Amman at the moment, I take it? What's the weather like over there?
Yeah, it's sunny and cloudy and sunny, and you never know what is like in 2020.
I do know what it's like, because I was there last year. It's lovely. It's like really beautiful, sort of like what I'd call almost British summer weather in Jordan. So I'm very jealous. It's getting a bit chilly over here. Anyway, I'm going to launch in with some questions, and feel free to answer what you can, and don't if you can't, don't worry, we've got plenty to get through. So as I said in the intro, we've had the pleasure to work with the KAFD and the Jordan Gaming Lab for a number of years, culminating last year in the awesome PG Connects Jordan event. But you guys have been working in Jordan for a lot longer, obviously. So can you tell me a little bit about the kind of history of kind of KFD and the Jordan Gaming Lab and those initiatives? Because you've been going for many years, and lots of initiatives have been happening. Maybe you can give an insight into the sort of things that you guys are doing, when it all started and what's happening.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I would like to thank you for bringing the PGC to Jordan, and selecting Jordan and supporting the gaming community in Jordan. It's very important to us, and as it's an emerging industry in Jordan, this is very important, and we consider it as a milestone actually in the progress of the development of the gaming lab efforts to bring this to everyone. I would like to highlight the point of the value added of networking of the PGC, and you're doing a great work. I was watching the introduction, and you are doing a great job for the whole gaming community.
Thank you. That's very nice. I'm tearing up here. It's very nice. I don't get them. Anyway, enough about me, enough about us. It's not me anyway. I don't do very much here. It's the team. But yeah. So tell me about the Jordan Gaming Lab, for instance. Yeah. How long's that been going? That's been going around. I think it's been going about a decade. Is that right? Or maybe it's not quite that long. I don't know. But it's been around for quite a while, right?
Yeah, it has been established in 2011. It was established as a royal initiative, where KAFD was mandated implementation of this vision, because His Majesty King Abdullah II pays a special attention to young people, and always trying to bring the new stuff and the edge-cutting technologies to them as being described with the change makers. They are the most of the Jordan community is young people, so they have to have special attention. Jordan is a young community, and technology always attached them, and they like the using the technology and the mobiles and other technology devices. The gaming lab was established in 2011, and now we have 7 branches all over the country.
Wow.
And we are having also, we are running a mobile lab, which is basically a van that is equipped with the tools for the training and for the orientations, and it rooms Jordan. It goes even for remote areas, and introducing the gaming industry to youngsters everywhere in Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really important. I think that the gaming labs, obviously, people haven't seen it, don't know. I mean, it's a really it's a kind of modern kind of campus. It's full of equipment. They have experts providing tuition and lessons, and it's you know, as you say, it's a young community, but obviously, gaming's not got a massive history in the Middle East as a whole, and certainly not in Jordan. So this is kind of starting from almost scratch, right? And this is trying to bring in to bring that base of technological experience and skill set up to scratch, and it's an incredibly impressive kind of setup there. And every time we go over, we see. I was lucky enough to be there in March. It was one of the last. It was my last trip actually. Last time I was on an airplane, in fact, was going across to Oman, which is weird. I'm missing being in a pressurized cabin. Sometimes I just do it at home. I just put like no, I don't. But no, it's incredible, and I think. And I think the fact you're doing 7 is amazing as well. And the mobile lab, yeah, as you say, it's like a mobile sort of education center. It's a really impressive, and I think it's starting to, you know, these things take time, but it feels like it's really starting to kind of bear fruit. I want to kind of evolve from this into one of the initiatives, and I'm not, or kind of more of the. One of the things I noticed, one of the most amazing things I found when coming to the Jordan Gaming Summit, I've been for 3 or 4 years now, and before we did PGC Jordan, is the balance of female to male attendees, which is quite strange, or not strange, it's normal, it should be that way. The games industry is consumed by both men and women, but it is very different to a lot of more developed Western markets. So it was amazing to see so many young women engaged and interested in this and making games. And I know that one of the aspects particularly which encourages that is the app challenge, which kind of goes into kind of schools and encourages students of you know, both sexes but females especially, to kind of create apps. Can you maybe talk a bit about the app challenge?
Yeah, sure. The app challenge will be having the winners today. Not today, with this version of the BGC.
I think Friday we're going to announce it.
Yeah, Friday, yes. And we had it this year online, virtually provided all services, and teams developed their games. And last week they have underwent an evaluation, and we had already the winners. And young people are doing very well. They love games. They love creating their own games. As for the gender balance, you know, this is cumulative effort. It's not new. This is not new, and it's not actually limited to KAFD or the gaming lab. All organizations, or many organizations, are providing services with the equal opportunities standard. So it's being done for a long time now. Yeah. And because maybe this is because the balanced, almost balanced population in terms of gender we have in Jordan.
I think, well, most populations are probably quite balanced in terms of, but I think it's amazing. I think it's, you know, when you see people, you know, both the entry level and also in sort of senior roles at the mobile operators and game development, it's a really impressive thing, and hopefully it can be maintained and continued. So it's a real testament actually to the work you guys have put in, and I think it could be real strength increasingly as you know, as the market continues to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're not a games industry expert. You've got other various areas you kind of work in as well. But what are your general thoughts on the Jordanian gaming industry at the moment? Where do you think you are in terms of kind of progress over the last sort of 9-10 years? And how does gaming compare to other industries in the region? Either just, you know, culturally or the size or whatever. Is it now becoming more of a respected kind of established industry?
Well, I think it's marching steadily. We have a number of developers. We have gaming studios. We have a couple of publishers, and it's doing well. As for the perception of gaming development, people respect anything related to the IT sector here in Jordan. So it's, yes, as a game developer, you are being respected here, and it's decent, and having a job in this sector is decent, and it will brings you a lot of things that maybe an extra income, and it's very interesting to work in this field.
Yeah.
And rather than from playing the game, you are now developing the game, and this is very interesting to young people, I think.
Yeah, no, it makes absolute sense, as you say, that the games audience is actually, I was reading some data on this, is pretty huge. There's actually, not just in Jordan but across the region, there are 377 million players, according to, I don't know how they work this out. This is going on, but 377 million. That is almost the same size as the European games, you know, player audience, and it's much bigger than America. It's like 210 million estimated in America. You know, obviously the amount of spend differs and everything, but the scale of people playing games is huge, and that's obviously, you know, comparatively recent. I guess it's still quite early days for the industry in some respects.
As for the people who are playing games and the expansion expected, yes, you are waiting new generations to come, and this is obviously the market is going to grow more, because people here in the Arab region like very much to play games, and with the spread of the mobile devices and other electronic devices, it's more available now.
Yeah, no, I think mobile, and mobile especially, is something which, you know, I think the gaming lab and the app challenge, obviously, and other initiatives are kind of focused around, and it is in some ways perceived as an easier entry point, which is a newer technology. There've been a number of success stories. You mentioned earlier about a couple of studios. We've got people like Babel Games that were acquired by Stillfront for a decent amount of money. They're doing incredibly well. Tamatem are doing very well. They're speaking later. Mazel Ward are speaking later, doing well, and obviously Play 3 Araby as well. Can you expect, you know, there are a number of indie development studios happening as well. Are you expecting more success stories in the coming years? Do you see a kind of growth of more successful studios?
Of course, we will have this, and we are helping this year, not this year, of course, not 2020, but 2021. We are expecting to support gaming studios, and we were to launch the fund for these studios 2020, but unfortunately COVID, you know. And
yeah, okay. So the fund, is that going to be something that helps again establish? I know you've invested a lot of money. It's not like you need to, but do you think this is to help studios like get started as proper businesses, or what's this kind of new fund? Presumably it starts next year. Fingers crossed. What's this aimed at particularly?
Yeah, it's more of starting their own businesses. Events like this one is very important to developers, I think, because they need to connect. They need to network with, especially these circumstances that made us to use virtual meetings and virtual connections and working from home. principles are being more likely to happen. So developers can work remotely now. No problem to work with any organization in the world. You can use the internet, and but just you need the connection.
No, exactly, and absolutely, that is a very good point. That although there's obviously a lot of downsides to COVID, it's been an awful kind of human tragedy. But from the way the industry is changing, it does mean that there's a little bit of a playing field being leveled there, where, yeah, because like you say, development studios don't have to be based, you know, in sort of America or in Europe. They can be based wherever, and we're definitely seeing a kind of growth. What about I know a lot about what Jordan's doing. Do you have an insight into other activities happening around the region? I've seen there's quite a few on a kind of consumer level, quite a few esports events in places like Egypt and Dubai and what have it springing up. And I know that you previously at PGC Jordan with Zane run the IMGA MENAs, which has been celebrating games talent not just from Jordan across the region. Are there other initiatives or other kind of countries that kind of collaborating with or similar things to what you guys are doing? You seeing that happening?
You know, yeah. At this stage, we are trying to introduce and promote gaming industry to Jordanians. Maybe on the next level, we can partner with other countries to to achieve more development or more opportunities for developers, but not for at this stage. But I think it's spreading out there, because you have the esport now is becoming something big, even in Jordan, and you have other countries that are it's an industry, and it brings money, and everybody will be interested in having it in his country. Sure.
Yeah, no, and I think you know, I obviously slightly biased because we're working with you, but from my experience, the amount of work that's been put in, and just the structure of society, and I think Jordan's an incredible, you know, is very likely to be a core center for the industry in the region, just because it's, you know, as I say, it's easy to get to. There's and it's a great place to visit as well. So I hope and we'll do what we can to help to continue to develop the industry there. I mean, every region has its own culture, of course. You know, obviously there's language and religion and other aspects. Do you think that the local developers, you know, and one of the things I was saying earlier is about these 370 or 380 million, you know, sort of MENA Arabic, predominantly, I guess, gamers. Do you think local developers have a big advantage when it comes to creating games for these players, because, you know, they understand, you know, the basic culture and experience, or not?
This is a sure thing. Of course, I think they have the advantage, because you know, language and culture are linked. You can learn the language, but it's not easy to learn the culture. You can't learn it overnight. So people living in their countries and knowing exactly what's going on, they can bring this culture inside the game. So you become interested when or excited when you see something that you relate to, or you know, inside a game, or even a game that is speaking in your language. So of course they have the advantage of this.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, on that note, then I guess there's a lot of people be looking at these numbers and seeing this Newsy report and going, wow, this is interesting. And I know of several new studios that have started across the region. There's also a lot of investment money at the moment. Like the amount of money washing around trying to find its way into the games industry is huge, and we have many investors at this event and many investment aspects of this event. Would you recommend then that kind of global investors take a look at investing in studios in this region, or publishers look at, you know, acquiring or working with studios in this region?
Of course, I strongly recommend this, and investment, especially in Jordan, the investment environment now in Jordan is very different from what it was years ago. The investors will find the warmest welcome to invest in Jordan, especially in the IT sector, and especially in gaming, because more people are interested in this field. You can I want to tell you something. You can develop a game here in Jordan and you find your audience in another country, Arab country. So there are many prospects for investing in gaming in Jordan, of course.
Yeah, and are there any kind of initiative? What's the best way to go? Is it just they just talk to the company? Do they need to? Is there any kind of scheme? Do they need to set up a company? You know, if I'm wanted to have a publisher in Jordan, do I need to, you know, come to someone like the KFD, or do I kind of set up a business, or do I work with an existing? What's the best way, do you think?
The best way is the investment, because the government has established a government body that is sole purpose is to make things easier for investors. Okay. They can use a lot of benefits and value added and competencies to establish their investment in Jordan. So it's better to start with the government.
Okay, well, we'll get some details of that from you and share that with the delegates to the event, and because I think there's definitely people interested. As I say, I know Stillfront were very successful they're very happy with Babel. I know likes to say of Play3 RV and Tamatem and Maisel have done incredibly well. I'm sure there's others out there as well. I've got a couple of questions I'm going to get to. I'll start a bit late, so don't worry, you'll get your time. But you can't have a discussion about anything this year without mentioning the kind of C word. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted everybody in some way or another. What's been the main impact on Jordan, and how's Jordan, the Jordan gaming industry, kind of holding up?
Actually, we have converted all our activities to virtual. Now we are providing the gaming training courses and the capacity building activities online. Other initiatives like the App Challenge also have been converted online. And it seems like we are going to continue with this at least for the half of the next year.
Yeah.
So that's how we are doing in this challenge.
But hopefully we'll be back to real face-to-face conversations by summer, eh? And we can. We're really hopeful we'll be able to be over there with you running PGC Jordan again. It's one of our favorite parts of the year, and not just because of the winter sun, which is good. Yeah. Okay, I've got a few questions for you. I'm going to ask a few questions from the audience here, so I'll throw them at you. You can answer what you can, and then we'll push on. So, a question here: for an outside developer looking to publish in the MENA region, what is the acceptance for games that are in English rather than local language? I guess that is, yeah. Can you do English language games work perfectly well, or do you really need to be sort of in Arabic to succeed? What do you think?
Actually, we have in the Arab world, we have the language barrier. Let's be honest with this. Not everybody is speaking English, but you know the game inside the game, the activity that the game provides or introduces, is not always related to the language. So if you have a story, a clear story, you can just become very popular in the Arab world. There are many not Arabic games that are very popular in the Arab world.
Yeah. No, I can see that that's the case. I mean, obviously, it does help if you can touch on things people care about, but there are global themes, obviously, big games. Yes, I've answered this question. What can companies interested in working with KAFD do to help? Well, that's an interesting question. What can companies that want to work with KAFD, do they if they want to work with you or invest, do they get in touch with you? Are you a good touch? I'm sure you are.
Thank you. Yes, of course. We're most welcome. We welcome every partnership and everybody that would like to work with us for the benefit of young people and the gaming community in Jordan.
Excellent. Well, Amjad is in the meeting system, so you can request a meeting there, and we can if you want to get in touch, or we can. I don't know if he wants to share his email with everybody in the world, but if you want to get in touch, please do. You contact us, and we can connect you if you don't want to go through the meeting system. There's a question about marketing games in the MENA region, but I won't. I know that this is not your skill set, so I'm not going to throw you into that. Do you know much about what games what genres are working best in the region, or again, is that more of a because I know you're not. You're kind of a broader skill set than pure games. But what do Do you know what games are working at the moment? What's the most popular?
I'm not so sure I can answer this question because actually, I'm sorry, I don't have the information.
That's all right. Don't worry. I won't throw that at you because we have got plenty more people coming up who will be able to answer that for you for there. I think we're pretty much at time. We've talked about everything. What are my questions? And I guess my final closing question really be, but what's your kind of vision for the Jordan gaming industry, and where do you want it to be in the coming years? What are KFD looking? What's the success look like for you?
We are looking for more people to get engaged and involved in the gaming industry, and we would like to have more partners to support this already happening march of the development of and the progress we are achieving. So more partners, more people involved. Even we are thinking of having. I know this is not tomorrow will happen, but we will be very happy if we will have something in the education system or the universities that promote the gaming, because it's very interesting and everyone can do something in this field.
Yeah, and it can generate a lot of tax as you just look at the fins. You just need your EA or your Supercell or your Tencent or whatever, and then everybody will be wanting to get into gaming. So I think I've got a question about internship opportunities in Arab countries. I'm not sure you're necessarily able to answer that, but do you take internships in the KFD? Are you looking to?
Inside the KAFD itself, no, we don't have, but we have a specific program that promotes internship in different organizations in Jordan. It's called DARB. DARB mean way, my way. So it supports internship, and they can make use of this program for sure.
Okay. Well, I guess the request to that question, if you want to get in touch with us, yeah, then we can connect you in with Amjad. He can give you some more information about that. I'm very happy to be contacted. I'm chris@steelmedia.co.uk. So I know not everybody wants the email out there, but my email is full of so much spam all day. It doesn't matter. So but I will help you where I can. So that's our time. I want to thank you so much. I've got the light. I've been moaning about the British weather, and now I've got sunshine. I have to close the curtains. But thank you so much for coming this morning. Thank you again for supporting this event and for your support, not just of us, but of the Jordanian gaming industry. I think it will pay dividends for Jordan as a whole, and we look forward to coming back for many years to come. So thank you very much, Amjad. I'm afraid you don't get a round of warm applause from the audience because they're all kind of silent, but they're out there clapping in their own homes. So fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Amjad.
Thank you very much. Thank you for what you are doing for the gaming industry. Thank you very much, Chris.
Awesome. Okay.